Hello everyone and welcome back to another video in the Grand Market Line. Today I want to talk about this tweet that was on the official One Piece Twitter page. The tweet stated that the Paramount War booster boxes will be reprinted, great news, by no later than the end of April. However, I think people should stop selling all of their cards. We're going to go on TCG and look at a few cards that have just plummeted down in price over time. And I think this is due to a lot of people being scared. And when people are scared, they sell their cards. So people like myself are going to pick these cards up at low prices, and I believe they're going to bounce back over time. If you stick around after we look at this first card, I'll follow up with a second reason that I believe that a lot of these cards are going to be just fine as time goes on, and I believe that their prices will bounce back up. So let's go ahead and look at Edward Newgate. Edward Newgate was around $209 not too long ago, March 7th to March 9th. Okay. Currently sitting at $179. You could say this was because it was overhyped at the pre-sale prices. However, when pre-sale prices were released, this card was at $240. It went down to about like $190, bumped up to $220, and now we're sitting at $178 after this Twitter page released this news and that people heard that these boxes were going to be reprinted. $178 for a very tough leader to find, the most meta-breaking leader probably in the format currently. The second reason that I think these cards are going to maintain their value and ultimately go back up over time is that let's think about how hard these cards are to get. I have literally been to every single one of my local stores and not found any of these Paramount War booster boxes. I pre-ordered 4 from one of my local game stores and 2 boxes from another one of my local game stores, and neither one was able to follow through with the deal, saying that the supply they got was way too small. So that's just something to think about. Think about your experience. How easy was it for you to get a Paramount War booster box? If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. Next up, we have Smoker. Similar to Edward Newgate, he was in the 200 plus range. This graph, for whatever reason, only shows him going to 188, which is false because if we look at his sales rate here, we can see that in March 18th, he was selling for 205 pretty consistently. So he's gone down a little bit, just like the other cards. Again, I think it's out of all of the news. For me, I'm looking at a card like this, and if I need it, I'm going to get it. Luckily, I already have this card, so this isn't one that I'd be picking up. However, the following card, Kennymon, is one that I want to pick up. $120 right now seems like a steal. Just a couple weeks ago, this card was at $150. Yep, it shows it here on the graph, $150. And it's a huge card in the format right now, if not the second best deck or the first best deck, depending on how you feel about green and red. Great card. I would definitely keep an eye on it. Again, every transaction you make is your own. These are just opinions. These are my thoughts. I always want to give my viewers something to think about when they're looking at the market. And right now, it's that I think people are selling into news that I believe will ultimately just be a small fraction of time of prices dropping and then prices going back up. That is my belief. In this period of time of prices dropping, another card that I'd keep an eye on is the Edward Newgate alternate art card. This card was $150 on pre-sale. That's huge. It's a 4 of in a lot of Whitebeard decks, so if you can get your hands on it, might as well. $93 is looking pretty enticing right now. As with some of the previous cards, I think this card will bump back up. It's not as hard to pull as the leader card, so I wouldn't expect such a big boost in the future. However, I do think it has room to rise. Kuzan is the next card I have up for us to talk about, and I think it's in an interesting position. I've always said from the beginning that I think all the black cards in Paramount War are very cool because it's the first printing of these black cards. These prices are going down, as we've mentioned, so if you pick this card up now, what I think you're really buying into is the first time that a black card was printed in the One Piece card game. I believe that will have value over time, and I think it's something to think about. The last card I want to talk about is Ivankov. How this card has really fallen over time. At one point, it was $180, and it's currently sitting at $88 right now. What I have to say about Ivankov is this, is that blue decks have been looked down on since the beginning of the One Piece card game. They're seen as one of the weaker decks to play against. With that being said, I think Ivankov is taking a huge blunt of this. I think he's an okay leader, and he makes the deck definitely tougher. So with a price tag of $88, I don't think it's a bad time to pick him up. Again, I'm not going to say this is the lowest all of these cards are going to get, but I think you're getting pretty close to it. That concludes today's video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with me? Do you think it's going to be a small little lull and only a matter of time before these prices climb again? Or do you think that they'll only continue to sink? Only time will tell. Thank you so much for watching.